are in Judges. We are in chapter 11. What we just discussed, what we are in the middle of discussing, is that Yiftach made a vow that whatever comes out of his house first is what, because he said, if you let me win the victory, he promised God, if you let me win the victory against Bnei Ammon, then what I'm going to do is the first thing that comes out of my house, I'm going to give to you. I'm going to give as a korban to you. Okay, as an offering to you. Fine. So what happens? His daughter comes out. And when he sees her, he's not a happy camper. Okay, he tears his clothes and so on and so forth. And he, as we learned last week, I leave you to the video, he tries to get out of the vow, and he's asking her, what do you think I should do? And she says to him, V'tomer love, Avi, my father, patzita edapicha, you opened your mouth. In other words, you opened your mouth. Fine, that's what they're translating. El Hashem to Hashem, Asay li kasher yatsa mipicha, do to me that which came out of your mouth. Now she's saying you cannot nullify the vow. After Hashem has given you revenge against you from your enemies, from Bnei Ammon. Okay, so the Malbim explains what's her response. She says, your decree, your charata, your regret is not the same with the other nedarim, with other vows. Because in the case of vows, she's arguing that if you regret the original vow, the originality of the vow, then the rabbi or the judge can uproot the vow from its root. In other words, I make a vow that I want to do blank. If blank happens, I'll do this. And then I come to then I say, I never should have done that. I never should have made that vow. I regret the vow from the very onset of the vow. Not because I got what I wanted, it's just I regret the vow. So now what happens is, that's when I go to the Chacham. The Chacham asks me, what... when you made the vow, did you have A in mind? And you say, no, I never had A in mind. Oh, okay, you never had A in mind. I can uproot it. By the way, that's what we call annulling a marriage. That's how you annul a marriage in halachic terms. Okay, and also probably for the Roman Catholics. I'm guessing on their part, but that's what you're doing is looking for a problem in the original action. If I can find something like that, then I can uproot it, I can annul it, and that's it. I'm not speaking for the Roman Catholics, I'm just suggesting that that's what it is. Okay, when they say to annul a marriage. Aval ata, but you, Dad, you, Yiftach, ein lecha charata midikara, you don't regret the original vow. Rak charata dahashi, you only have charata now. In other words, you are very happy that when you said, Hashem, if you save me and let me have a victory from Ammon, then I will give you a korban. If an animal would have walked out, you would have been the happiest guy. You would have been high pie in the sky. Be happy. You would have given the korban, no problem. But when you saw me walk out, oh, now you have charata. That's not when you can have charata. Okay? That's our argument.
The vow itself was valid.
The vow itself is valid. You have to fulfill the vow. Because the only thing you're regretting is that I walked out. If I didn't walk out, you wouldn't have regretted it. So it says, so after Hashem, after Hashem had done after Hashem has done this for you, this revenge against your enemy, because through your neder, she says, you were victorious over your enemy. And it's an impossibility. So then you can't claim that your charata, your regret, is on the body of the vow itself. Okay, and that's what she's argued. That's what she argued. So she said, Dad, you cannot uproot your neder because your neder, your vow, you agree with your vow. You just don't like what happened later. So now the Malbim says, Garam, Yiftach, this was a mistake for Yiftach. Why? Shlo halach eitz l'chachamim. He should, even after listening to his daughter, coming out with all her wonderful positions, should have gone to the rabbis, lish'ol al nidro, to ask about his neder. In other words, it's very nice for me to sit down with my kids, even Talmidei Chachamim, they all are Talmidei Chachamim, Yis Hashem. So I sit down with my kids and I ask them a question, and what happens, they give me the answer. I'd be a fool to take their word about it, even if it's no matter how logical it sounds. I'd be a fool not to go to somebody like the judges and ask them, can I annul it? That's what he should have done. She says, why? Because be'emet, he ta'anat hevel. What she was saying was really false. Shegam charata tahashtamo ela al kolpanim. Because even if I have charata now, regret now on what's happening now, that will help to uproot it. Al kolpanim ed haned become lahava. From this point on. So if he would have gone to the court, Pinchas or whoever he would have gone to, then he could have had it annulled. The daughter would not have had to be, well, the question was she killed, sacrificed to God, or was she sent to be alone and in constant service to Hashem? That's the question that the rabbis get into. It's a whole argument. We don't know what really happened. But the bottom line is that if he would have gone to the Chachamim, then it would have been nullified. Okay? So you shouldn't listen. That's number one. When you think you know the halacha, and that's, by the way, this is also a very important thing. Let's say you ask me a halacha, and then I look it up. I go to the Mishnah Brura, modern day. I go to the Mishnah Brura, I look up, and I see, this is what it says, right? You need the heter. You need the leniency. So I think, okay, I'm lost. There's nothing here. What do I do? At that point, after I've done my research, I call somebody greater than me. Because it's not that you just ask me, what's a halacha? Do I put tefillin on or don't I put tefillin on? In the best of all worlds. Okay, best of all worlds is a halacha. But let's say for some reason you need a heter, and you're saying this is what I need, this is what's going on, and isn't there something? Can't I drive on Shabbos? Okay, something like that. Then after I've done my research, then it's on me to go, if I can't find anything, to go to somebody who's greater than me and make sure that I'm right. To say no. Mm-hmm. Or to say yes, by the way. Either way. Let's say I want to say yes. It's my obligation to go to my Rebbe to say, or to the leaders of this Jewish world, and say, this is what I'm seeing, am I correct in my analysis? And they say yes or no. Nobody should be so arrogant to think that they know everything. And that's what's going on here. We're seeing arrogance, and what happens with arrogance. Let's continue. So it says, V'tomer, V'tomer Levi, she said to her father, Right, that's right. 37. Right, she said to her father, Ye'aseh hadavar hazeh. Let me do this one thing. Just one thing. Harfei mimeni shnayim chadashim. Let me have 2 months. Okay, Harafei mimeni means be weakened from me. Calls me, but she's saying basically refrain from me. Give me 2 months. V'elcha, and I will go down. I will go v'yaraditi al harim, and I will wail, or I will go down on the mountains. What's the mountains mean here? V'yevka al betulai, and I will cry on my virginity. Anochi v'reoti, and I am my companions. What is going on here? What she mean? So again, the Malbim says, V'yevcha al betulai, will cry about my betulai, my virginity. Shehit yachda ufarsha et asma, that she's going to separate herself. Balna se leish, she won't be marrying a man. Rak ta'avor et Hashem, only she'll be serving Hashem. So she is going to be. By the way, this is the first nunnery, I guess. Okay, she is but this baby one is she's going to be by herself. She's never going to get married, so she's crying over that. Now, why would she cry over that? Some people would love to have the ability just to serve Hashem. I mean, that's what we're here for, to serve Hashem. Well, I think the answer is that if I choose to do something, I'm not going to cry over it. On the other hand, if somebody makes that choice for me and I feel obligated to fulfill that choice, now I'm in a state of mourning because I no longer will get married, I no longer will have children, I no longer will do this, I no longer will do that. So that's what it seems to be going on here. And now the other thing, he also gives a whole long thing here. He says like this, in your book, he says, "Let this be done for me, as you have vowed, provided you first wait 2 months before I go into isolation and wail upon the mountains." So the Radak Masudis David suggests that Yiftach lived at the highest point of the surrounding mountains. They thus render, "And I shall descend upon the mountains." However, Rashi explains, this is an expression for lamenting, as in Isaiah, where it says, "Upon her roofs and streets they all lamenting with a cry, as one who is immersed in mourning until his body is broken." Yerida is also an expression of breaking, as in Lamentations. And in the Gaudic interpretation, Rabbi Tanchuma explains upon the mountains as referring to her presenting the case before the Sanhedrin. Perhaps they can find an opening to your vow. That's another thing. So there's a couple of different ways to look at this, of going down the mountains. What did she do? And the last one that Rashi is speaking on is she actually went to the Beit Din. Here's what my father said. This becomes very difficult. By the way, this part that Rashi is saying, that she went down to the court, perhaps to find an opening to Yitro's vow, because they would have definitely said yes. Okay, so that's the only difficulty we're having with that. The Tanchuma elaborates, because Yiftach was not so learned, he lost his daughter. The Almighty Hashem was angry at him for his vow. What would have been if a dog, pig, or camel had gone out? Would he have sacrificed them? Therefore, he caused his daughter to go out to serve as a lesson that everyone should study the laws of vows and not ear. Pinchas, what's wrong with Pinchas here? He's also a leader. Pinchas reasoned, "I am the high priest and the son of a high priest, so it's not fitting for me to go before an ignorant person." Yiftach reasoned, "I am the leader of Israel, and should I lower myself before him?" So you have two people. I told you, this is arrogance, total arrogance. A king precedes a high priest. So as we learn in the Gemara, when he sought to sacrifice her, she cried, "Hashem only requires the sacrifices from animals, not humans." However, he responded that he was obligated by his vow. Finally, she requested to descend upon the mountains. Being that one ascends upon a mountain rather than descends, it must be referring to the Sanhedrin, before whom one must lower himself and submit to their authority. They are also called mountains, as it says, "Hearken, O mountains, the claim of Hashem." The Almighty, however, concealed the law from them because he slaughtered 42,000 of Ephraim. Thus he sacrificed her, upon which the Almighty lamented. This I have not spoken, referring to the fact that Yiftach was not commanded or required to sacrifice his daughter. Rav Yochanan says, in actuality, he was only obligated to redeem her and use the money for sacrifice. Reish Lakish says that since Yiftach stipulated to offer something which cannot be sacrificed, he was under no obligation whatsoever. Yiftach's dilemma was intended to impress upon him that his vow did not please Hashem. However, his own foolishness caused him to stumble. And it says, "And I shall cry over my virginity, since I was not able to marry anyone." Crying helps lessen and relieve the pain. She cries over her virginity. Since it does not say over her maidens, it implies that this refers to an actual virginity. Okay, and so, like I said, you see, this is such a telling story about what happens when people, one, are arrogant, two, don't learn Torah, three, think that they know everything. That's part of the arrogance.
I was wondering about it when we first read that verse. You made it, whatever comes out of his story, that it kind of hit the back of my mind. I didn't express it back then, but huh?
Right.
Whatever comes out of your door.
Right. And like I said, though,
You
he
expect a cow to come out of your door? I mean, what? That's it.
a sheep, cow, whatever. Right. No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. He didn't, and that's why Hashem was angry with him for making a vow like that. Say, if you let me win, I'll give you 30 sheep. Say what you want.
Yeah.
But you say whatever comes out of my door. So Hashem says, okay, I'm going to show you how stupid it was. And what does the idiot do? I'm talking about Yiftach here. I shouldn't say he's such an idiot, but what does he do? He didn't ask questions. He's arguing with his daughter. Let's follow the Malbim for a second. He's arguing with his daughter, and the daughter's saying, no, you got to, it's what it is. You have to do it. Okay, but for the Malbim, by the way, she's just sent away to dedicate her life to God. She's not killed. For the way the Malbim is explaining, he's going with the other opinion that says that she was not sacrificed, that she was just put aside for set aside for God.
Anyway, you're saying we don't know what happened. He's not going to tell
Correct.
us.
We don't know what happened. We don't know. You'll see from the story.
Okay.
We don't know. It doesn't say he did it. So here we go.
Okay.
And but I'm just giving you the background as to what's being said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vayomer, and he said, "Lechi, go." Vayishlach otah shnei chadashim. He sent her for 2 months. Vatelech v'reyotea, and she and her friends went. Vatevk al petuleha. She cried upon her virginity al heharim, on the mountains, like we said. Fine, and then now it says vayimikesh shnayim chadashim, was at the end of 2 months. Vatashav elavia, she returned to her father. Vayas la et nidrash nadar, and he did to her his vow that he vowed. That's all it says. What does that mean? Does he kill her?
No.
Does he send her away? And then it says further, V'hi lo yada ish, she did not know man, v'tihi chok b'Yisrael, and this was a statute in Israel. So Rash Metzudas, the Malbim says, V'yas la nidro, what does that mean? Bazeh Asala nidra, with this he made his vow, b'mashal lo yada ish, and that which she did not know a man, v'nish arat sarura aguna meta admota, so she remained a chained woman, as it were, until her death. In other words, she never got married to anybody. V'haya zeh mitzvah. The fi daton, this was a mitzvah according to his understanding. And again, now the Malbim tells us, according to the rabbis, she was offered as a sacrifice, killed. She was murdered. Okay, you have that dual side of this, no question about it. Now it says it was a decree. So Rashi says, what was the decree? So Gazru, they made a gezer, they made an enactment. Shelo yaseh adam od kain, that a man should never do such a thing. And that's when Rashi says, if they would have gone before Pinchas, or if Pinchas would have come to him, the whole thing would have been avoided. But because they stood in their greatness, between the both of them, there was a life was lost, and God paid them back. In that Pinchas lost his divine inspiration, and Yiftach would fall apart as he went, and those body pieces would be falling off him because of disease. And that's why it says he was buried in many places, because each time it would fall, so he would bury that limb. So he was falling apart. But Hashem showed his disfavor to both of them, because if either one of them would have got off their high horse, then nobody would have been hurt. May have been, by the way, when you say the soul was lost, her children were lost, and let's assume that she remained alive, that she would, any children she would have had, she doesn't have, and also that if she's died, if she's really killed, then she's lost that way. Okay, so, and it says, Miyamim, next verse, 40, Miyamim Yamima Telachna Benot Yisrael. So, excuse me. So then it says, from year to year, Miyamim Yamima, from year to year, the daughters of Israel would go, the Tanot, the Bat Yiftach HaGiladi. Here is another word that we don't really know what's going on. The Yiftach could mean to lament, or it could mean, what was the other thing it said? to so the Malbim says, Litanot, v'arba yamim, for 4 days a year, every year, halchu l'dabir l'sapir ita, they went to speak with her, this girl, and then she would return to her seclusion. And according to our rabbis, Litanot means to eulogize or to lament on her death. So again, what actually happened, we don't know. Okay, understand? This word, Litanot, it could either mean lament or to visit and to catch up with her. It would catch up with her. So, I'm not sure what happened. And then what would do, and the Bat Yiftach Hagiladi Arba Yamim Vashana, every again 4 days a year. So that's what happened.
I mean, just the plain text. I mean, it looks like she was killed. Just the plain text.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Again, well, actually, the straight text doesn't. It says he fulfilled his vow.
Oh, so, depending on how that vow.
So you have to again. If you go back to the vow, so the vow was. What was it? He says. Yeah. Here's what his vow is. That which comes out of my house first, or that which will come out of my house, to meet me, when I return in peace from Bnei Ammon, it will be to Hashem, and I will bring it up as an Ola offering. Well, there's two things. You can learn two things. He should have just said, whatever comes out of my house, V'atiluhu ola will be brought up as an offering. In fact, he says, V'hayal Hashem, it will be for Hashem, V'alitu ola, and or it will be brought for an ola. What does the vav mean? What's the vav mean? So now the way that if you remember the way the Malbim, I believe it was a Malbim who said it, was Malbim. So it was Meshuz David. The way Meshuz David explained it was, if it's something that's not fit to be brought as a sacrifice, it will be dedicated to Hashem. And if it is something that is fit to be offered, then it will be offered as an ola. So that would get, now by the way, that's only for Mr. David. You have to ask the question, how did everybody else take that? So, also the Malbim took it that way. Which is why he can say later on that his daughter was given over to Hashem. So the Malbim's consistent in what he's saying, but it's always important to go back and see what happened. But really, that's what he said. Whatever comes out, so that'll be all. So then, why is Hashem angry? And so on and so forth. That's the only question you have. Why is Hashem angry? Why are we getting onto the arrogance part? Why doesn't he want to fulfill his vow? So what if his only daughter? Okay, so you wouldn't see grandchildren from the daughter. He's still dedicating her to Hashem. This should be a happy thing. But we see that was not. Okay. Good enough?
Yeah. Wow.
But like I said, it's a hard story to understand. Bottom line of the story, let's understand what is really being said, that we need to know halacha. And we can't assume, and even when we think we know the answer, we still should check it out. Again, it's not something like, is this a piece of kosher meat or not? This is life or death. This is giving up sending somebody to not get married. This is a major life decision. And you don't want to be so flippant with it to assume you know what the way is, and rather you should check it out. By the way, also, I don't want to put a little kosher meat. If you have whatever food in front of you, and you think it's strange I would have an OU, every once in a while there's a mislabeling. The best mislabeling from the OU was on pork and beans. They had pork and beans, and there was the OU. So somebody, OU, beautiful. So, and some smart guy said, I think we should call it OU. And they called the OU, and of course the OU said, no, of course we don't do this. And it was a mislabeling. And people don't get that. But people have to understand is many of these companies have kosher products. the father company has kosher whatever you call it. The father company has kosher products, so they mislabel could be by accident, could be on purpose. I'm not sure. Hopefully, it's by accident. Then the art guy, whatever you call the art guy, the designer for the labels, they say, okay, well, OU, boom, they don't know OU, so they throw OU on it. And then there's a recall and the whole thing. Okay, fine. But the point is that just because you see an OU, okay, triangle K, or whatever case you want, on something that seems strange, don't assume that, you should not assume that is good. You should call up the company, the OU, again, the kashrut company, and say, I see it on there, is it a valid one? And they will tell you yes or no right away. I mean, if it's no, you have to do something about it. Okay, let's go on. We are on chapter 12. Chapter 12 is Vayitzaek Ish Ephraim. So, what happens is the men of Ephraim were gathered, V'yavor Tzafona, and they passed to the north. Vayomru Yiftach, and they said to Yiftach, Madua Varta Lechem B'vnei Ammon. Why did you cross over to fight against Bnei Ammon? V'lanu lo karata lech, and you did not call us to go with you. As a result, Beit Chad Nisrof Alecha Ba'esh. Your house we will burn upon you with fire. Oh, they're not exactly appreciating him. Ish Ephraim. So he's coming from Menashe. Ephraim is saying, even though you're the oldest one, we still were given first ops by what's his name? By Yaakov. He says, he put Ephraim before Menashe, so you should have called us. That's what he said. Boom. Okay. And because you didn't, we're going to punish you. So here we go. Okay, so the Malvim.
That's rather severe.
Yeah. He's not having a good day. This is true. So they gather. So Ish Ephraim. So the Malbim says, "The Ephraim charalo al shegilad bacharu rosh v'katzin lerosh Beit Yosef." What was Ephraim so upset about?
Yeah.
That Gilad was chosen to be the head and the chieftain of the Beit Yosef. Ya'an shenitzchu hamilchama, because he was victorious in the war. Vehem tanu, and they claimed, Lama lo karao tam hilachem, why didn't you call us to fight? V'ratzu lisrof beito, they wanted to burn his house. Ki lo hiskimu al nasiuto, because they did not agree on his rise to power. Sound familiar, guys? Okay.
It's happening right now.
Right. Kamo sheyavara pasuk dalet, like it's like explained in verse 4. Vayalehem l'taina, they had a claim. Shayu gedolim in Menashe, they were greater than Menashe in Beit Yosef. Kamo shekatuvi yasim Ephraim l'fim Menashe. Because it says that he put Ephraim before Menashe. That's why their complaint was. So they said, you're ruling, you have no right to rule, you should have called us, you should have written us, faxed us, should have done something, and he didn't. So they said, we're going to burn you down. We don't agree with your appointment. Okay, very nice. We're going to have a protest. So, what happens? Vayomer Yiftach aleim. Yiftach says to them, Ishriv hayiti ani v'ami v'nei Ammon ma'ot. She said that I and my people were a great strife with the children of Ammon, and I called to you. I did call to you. V'lo hashatem oti mi'adam. You didn't save me from their hands. I did call to you. I called you. I called one and called Ephraim. And you know what? You didn't call. You didn't come. What are you yelling at me for? So he said, the Malbim says, V'yom Yiftach, Amar Gimel Tana. He's giving him 3 reasons. 1, Ishriv hayiti ani v'ami b'nei Ammon. I and my people were under attack by Bnei Ammon. Rak ani bal hariv, only I was the person who was being attacked. Ki b'nei Ammon ratzu yudchet shana, because they were torturing us for 18 years. B'nei Gilad v'amilchama yamotel rak aleinu, the war was only put upon us Number 2, ve'azak. Second thing, I did aleichem kol yamim za'aknu. We called you for 18 years. V'lo batem lo shein, and you didn't come to save us. The Gimel ve'ere. Oh, so now we're at the next verse. Ve'ere ki ein Moshiach. Now we're at 3, and I saw that you did not save. And I put my soul in my hand. Ve'ebara el b'nei Ammon, and I crossed over to b'nei Ammon. Vayitim Hashem biyadi, Hashem gave them into my hand. Period. Why, and now why are you coming up to me today to fight against me? So he says the third claim is, and I saw that you didn't come to save. She'im hayita Moshiach, kavar hayate ilazem izman rav. That if you were going to save us, you would have done this a long time ago. So be due to all these 3 factors. Again, 1, that Bnei Ammon was only attacking us. Number 2, we called you for 18 years. Number 3, you didn't show up for 18 years. Why should I call you again? Therefore, I put my hand in my palm, or put my left in my hands. Vayiti b'sakana gedola. I put myself into great danger. Hashem, and Hashem gave them over to my hand through Hashgacha, in other words, Hashem's divine supervision. So why are you coming to me to argue with me, to fight with me today? To help me, you never came all this time. Only to fight me do you come today. Where have you been? You argued with me that I didn't come to you. I called you for 18 years, and you didn't respond. Now suddenly I inherit the kingdom, and you want to attack me. What was the expression you said that Trump said to people? What do you have to lose?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
He's saying, I had everything to lose. You weren't doing anything. You weren't saving me. All my alliances were worthless. By the way, you know who this is mostly? Israel to the nations. Israel to the nations, to this very day. We did cry to you. We did say, get these Palestinians out of here. We did say, stop the Iranians from getting their nuclear power. We did say that. And you know what you said to us? Don't worry about it. No, nothing's going to happen. We love you people. We do. Just lie down and die. That's how we love best about you. Okay, and then when we do something and we attack back, suddenly the world says, why did you call us? We did. We did call you. And you didn't respond. Okay, so what happens? I mean, you can say, there's so many ways that you can fit this speech into what's going on today and what has always been happening. So, not to be too political. Vayikbots Yiftach el kol anshe Gilad, and Yiftach gathered all of the people of Gilad, and Ephraim, and they fought with Ephraim. And this part, by the way, this is also the sad part of the story, that there was no détente, there was no recognition of what's going on, and now you have brother killing brother. V'yaku anshe Gilad et Ephraim, so the men of Gilad killed Ephraim, ki amru pelete Ephraim atem, because they said, because the lowest of Ephraim is interesting. Pelite would also mean the survivors. So the remnants of Ephraim said to them, Gilad betoch Ephraim betoch Menashe, because the lowest of Ephraim said, of what importance are you Gileadites in the midst of Ephraim, in the midst of Menashe? So they give him a nice insult too. Okay, so what happens? Vayikbot Rashi, Malbim explains. Vayikbot Yiftach, V'yachas Sherash ki lo rafta rucham devarav harachim. After Yiftach saw that Ephraim was not weakening their stance, even though he spoke to them in a soft manner. He didn't answer them sarcastically. He gave them the reasons. Ki amru, because they said, Mive'ir siva milchama, Shebnei Ephraim ta'anu, and for the reason they explained that the reason of the war of Bnei Ephraim was that they claimed al she'izu anshe Gilad livchor shofet, that they were that the reason for the war was that the anshe Gilad, the men of Gilad, were brazen to choose the shofet, the judge, ki'ilu heim ikar Beit Yosef, as if they were the main parts of Beit Yosef. And so that's when the remnants or the lowlifes of Ephraim said to them, Hu Ikar Shevet, that Ephraim is the main Shevet. And with him was half tribe Menashe, that they took their portion, so near him. So as Chaval they got one portion, like it says in Sefer Yeshua, V'yatem Gilad shelakachtem me'ever Yarden, and you Gilad that took it from the other side of the Jordan, Paleitim atem and Shevet, you are the remnants of these tribes. Ki hayam mikomchem ro'ei be'Ephraim b'toch Menashe, because your fitting place is in the midst of Ephraim, in the midst of Menashe. Rak halachtem lefleita el Ever. El Aver, where is it? To find it here. Okay, El Aver. Hayarden. But you, where is it? Only you went to the remnants, so on the other side of the Jordan. So how could you have the chutzpah to again choose the shoter, the ruler? You had no right to do that. That's what they argued. So what happens? Vayilkod Gilad et Ma'abrod Yarden Ephraim. So what happens is Gilad captured the fords of Yarden of Ephraim. Okay, and right, they seize the lords, fine, they belong to Ephraim. And it was when the lords of Ephraim said, let me go over, Gilad. This is also interesting. I'm going to run through this. Y'all, you don't mind, do you? I hope you don't mind. Just give me a few minutes. So the men of Gilad said to the Ephrati, these people who were trying to get back, they would ask, "Hi Ephratiata, are you an Ephrat? Are you from Ephrat?" In other words, the people they're crossing a border here. Okay, they have to cross the border, so they want to know, and they would say, the men of Gilad would say, "Are you from Ephrat?" And they would say, "No, not me," because they don't want to get killed. They don't want to get killed. So what happened? So they said to him, "Emor please say Shibolet. Say the word Shibolet." Vayomer, and he would say Sibolet. They couldn't say a sh. They had a lisp or whatever, a speech impediment. The people of Ephraim could not say the shin. So I'm going to identify you. Are you from Ephraim? If you say yes, you're killed. It's done. So no, say Shibolet. Say any word with shin. And they couldn't, fine. So what happens? And they couldn't speak like that. They would grab him. And what they did was they slaughtered him at the fords of the Jordan. So that's when they killed from Ephraim 42,000. That's all because they couldn't make peace with each other. And that's, let me just finish this part of the story. Yiftach judged Israel for 6 years. So then Yiftach, the Giladi, died, and he was buried in the cities of Gilad. Why the cities of Gilad again? Because as he got older, body pieces would fall off. So he had some sort of disease. So they would fall off, and they would bury the bones or wherever it was. So we finished the story of Yiftach, and strange story. It's an interesting story, but again, the main part of this is showing what happens when people are arrogant. That's really all it was. Arrogance upon arrogance upon arrogance. And as a result, a lot of people die. Okay.